Hi friends, this is Tiina and welcome to my new video. As you can see from the title, we are doing something a little different today. I'm going to be trying out and reviewing a new notebook that was kindly sent to me by a French small business called Mellow. Mellow is owned by a couple, Cynthia and Simon. This notebook is called Rêverie and there are two color choices available and I have the coral one. This notebook is a pretty unique one because it actually has watercolor paper and I'm super excited to try it out. I also want to say that I am affiliated with Mellow, but like always, everything that I say in this video is my honest opinion. So in this video, we are going to take a closer look at this journal and do a pen and watercolor test to see how well the watercolor paper actually holds different mediums. First of all, this journal looks so gorgeous and even the box that it came in is so beautiful. The cover is soft vegan leather and it has the word Rêverie in gold. Before we look at the inside of this notebook, let's quickly look at the features this notebook has. It has 160 GSM dotted watercolor pages. There is 160 pages in total. It only comes in A5 size. The paper is off-white in color. The dots are 5 mm apart. It has an elastic band, a back pocket, and 2 bookmarks. There's no page numbers. There's only one pre-made page, and the notebook costs 24 euros or about $29 US. Now let's look at this notebook more closely. Like I said, it has 2 bookmarks that have a beautiful peach color. The inside covers of this notebook have a gorgeous leaf design. There's one pre-made page and it's for you to write your name on, and in the back there's a little pocket you can, for example, store your stickers in. Something I noticed immediately when I opened my notebook was that it didn't really lay flat like some of the other notebooks I had used before, and I think it's because of the thick watercolor paper it uses. Now that I've already used this notebook for a couple of times, it opens a lot better and it's not really an issue anymore, but I just wanted to say it in case you buy this and get confused about this. The pages itself are 160 GSM, but this notebook, unlike any other I've seen, has textured watercolor paper. The texture is pretty subtle though, and it's still easy to write on, but the paper definitely feels a bit more rough if you compare it to other brands like Archer and Olive or Scribbles That Matter. I actually really love this texture and I think it's a nice change. Let's look at some features I noticed in this notebook when I was flipping through the pages. Like in many other notebooks, in this you can see the stitching in some of the pages, and some pages are also glued from the middle and it prevents you from opening those spreads fully. What I also noticed is that the dots in this notebook are placed really close to the sides of the pages, which means that there are a few more dots in this notebook compared to, for example, Archer and Olive and Scribbles That Matter. Also, there are some spreads that have dots that don't line up in the middle, and again, I've noticed the same in all of my other notebooks as well, and it luckily doesn't happen very often. Let's compare the size of these 2 other journals I already own. Here's a B5 sized Dingbats notebook, and here's an Archer and Olive in size A5. Even though they are both A5 and generally look pretty similar, the Rêverie is maybe a couple of millimeters bigger and is actually a lot thicker as well. Here's the paper color difference between Scribbles That Matter, Archer and Olive and Rêverie. So as you can see, the Rêverie is a lot more cream white than the other ones. Now let's get on to the testing part of this video. On the right side of the spread, I'm going to be testing out pens, markers, and different paints, and on the left side, I'm going to be painting a cute houseplant to actually put the watercolor paper to a test. I tried to test out as many different markers as I could and also decided to write the names of the pens and paints with the Muji Gel Pen to test out how it works on this textured paper, and it was really easy to write in. After making this spread, I actually already made my new bullet journal setup, and I noticed that it was maybe a little harder to write with the Pigma Micron and it feathered a tiny bit, but still worked completely fine to my standards. I also added 2 different washi tapes to the bottom of this to just see if it rips the page at all, and I can already say it didn't. Let's start with the pen test. I tried out a marker from Dingbats and Sakura Koi brush pen. Here I'm using a Pigma MB Brush Pen, and I usually use this to color in any bigger black areas. Now I'm using an acrylic marker from Molotov, and next is a marker from Copic, which is obviously alcohol based, and I already knew that it was going to bleed through. Then I tested a Tombow Fudenosuke, Pigma Micron and a Muji Gel Pen. I usually never color in bigger areas with these pens, but since I really wanted to test this notebook, I did that anyway. This is a golden gel pen from Pentel that I mostly just use under a metallic watercolor. Here's my best friend Sakura Gelly Roll straight in the paper and also over a black marker. With the watercolors and gouache, I tried to go with a more opaque layer on the left side and I used more water on the right side. I was genuinely really happy with how much the notebook was able to hold water and how long the watercolors stayed blendable. This notebook definitely holds watercolor better than any other notebook I've ever tried before. These last boxes are meant for metallic watercolors, and in the first one I just added the color straight from the pan, and for the other one I drew a base first with a Pentel Hybrid Gold gel pen and then added many layers of the watercolor to get a smooth gold look. Now that my pen test page is complete, let's look at the back of the page. Like you can clearly see, the Copic, as expected, bled through quite a lot. Also, there's definitely some ghosting with the darker markers, and especially with the Tombow Fudenosuke, Pigma Micron and the Muji Gel Pen in the boxes I colored in. I think the ghosting is more visible under a bright light as I had here, and it's way more subtle when using normal lights, and like I said, normally I would never really color in bigger areas with these pens anyway. Here that my painting still hadn't dried completely, you can see that the watercolor areas got a bit wrinkled, which is usually the case with 160 GSM notebooks, but surprisingly after filming when the areas were completely dry, there's hardly no wrinkling at all. I decided to paint this houseplant on the other side of the spread to fully see how well the watercolors blend and if it bleeds through when actually using them and layering them on top of each other. I have struggled with watercolor paintings in my journals before, and I'm honestly so relieved to see that in this notebook the colors don't just dry on the page in seconds, and I can actually blend them without ruining the other side with bleeding. The texture of this paper works so well with paints, and this definitely became my favorite notebook. While I'm painting this, I will give you my final thoughts on this notebook. For me, this notebook is almost perfect. I personally prioritize painting over drawing in my notebooks, and since the painting feels so smooth and easy, I love it. Like I said, I mainly paint in my journals, and I also draw lines and write in with black fineliners and markers, so the ghosting doesn't really bother me, but obviously I would be even happier if that didn't exist, and I totally get that this could be a deal breaker for some people who like to color in larger areas with black markers really often. Like many notebooks, this definitely has issues, and it's by no means a perfect watercolor notebook, but so far I've really liked using it, and it definitely is one of the best dotted notebooks suitable for watercolors I have ever tried. I also got no bleed through or wrinkling when I made my new bullet journal setup in this notebook. Now we are getting to the end of this video. If you would like to get this notebook or these gorgeous Mellow Days stickers or washi tapes from their website, I will have my affiliate link and code down below so you can get 10% off your next order, while I also get a small commission from the brand. They also sell a bunch of art journaling notebooks in their website, so maybe you should check it out. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you in my next one. Bye bye!